Ms. Ricky, thank you for being with us today. So this, they all are my group mates for the assignment. Okay.
Yeah.
And we will be asking you several questions about Hilton Garden Inn for our assignment purpose. And yeah, so I'll be the moderator for the session, and my teammates will be taking their turn and asking the questions. Okay. So yeah, first one can go first. Yeah. Najiha, you can go first. Just to remind others can remain muted while, okay? All right, thanks. Najiha? Yeah.
Okay. My name is Najiha. Quickly, can you introduce yourself?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Najiha, your voice is not that clear. Repeat.
Can you please introduce yourself?
I'm so sorry, I cannot hear you.
Could you please introduce yourself, Ms. Vicky? Yeah.
Oh, can I introduce myself?
Yep.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so my name is Ricky Tanaka. I work for Hilton Garden Inn. I've been working here since 2015 as a front office manager.
Can I know how much get you in the industry? Can you hear my voice?
I think it's very crackly. I'm not sure if it's
Okay. So
everyone's
just
muted.
take on from Najiha. I mean, if sorry for the can we know how long have you been in the industry?
In the industry, hospitality, I think almost 10 years. I've lost count.
Can you share with us your responsibility and your job?
So my responsibilities in my job scope? Yeah, so the job scope changes daily, but majority is supervision of my team, dealing with profit and loss report, a lot of management meetings on how we can improve, updating our colleagues on what is happening with our department. We also I'm also in charge of Hilton Honors, which is our loyalty program to achieve our target as much as we can. This also is the same for our upsell.
Can you explain the background and the concept of Hilton Garden Inn?
The what, sorry?
Can you explain more about the background and the concept of Hilton Garden Inn?
I'm sorry, Pati, can you help me?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry.
I'll be able to. I'll step in. Could you explain a little about the background of the hotel, Hilton Garden Inn?
Okay.
Yeah.
So Hilton Garden Inn, we don't go by star ratings for any of our properties, but it's a focused service hotel. Basically, in a nutshell, it's what guests need, not want. When we talk about guests wanting something, that is most likely like a full service, like a Hilton or a Conrad, and then you have your luxury brand. So we are focused service in the way that we still provide bright-hearted service, but we do not assist, for example, like luggage, concierge, those kind of things. So basically, the main focus is a place to sleep, place to eat, and to have stable Wi-Fi.
Okay. Right. AKHMA, you can proceed with your questions. AKHMA.
Yeah, we continue with next question.
Najiha, can you mute?
Do you think English language is important in hospitality industry, and why do you think it is important?
I missed the first part. You said something about is language, what kind of language, sorry?
English language is important. Do you think it's
Oh, okay. I think it is. I mean, we're guest facing, and in a place like Singapore, it is something that is important. Not only because we have international guests, but we're dealing with different stakeholders. It is preferable that you can have a wider range in your language skills, because we obviously again have different kind of clientele. So for example, at our hotel, we have someone that can speak French. We have guests, others that can speak Japanese, Chinese, obviously Malay, Tamil. So it kind of gives more flexibility for staff and guests to feel a little bit more ease, and it's much easier to communicate. But English, yes.
all right. And then, beside the English language, what language that you think also important in hospital?
I don't think there's one particular one. I think it depends on your location of where your hotel is. So for example, like if you're in a place where you're located in Little India, there'll be a certain type of clientele, which will be very much different from maybe somewhere else overseas. Like for example, to compare, my previous placement, which was at Hilton Orchard, majority people spoke Chinese. But here, in terms of our guests, it's not as highly required. We have actually a high amount of Japanese guests and Tamil speaking.
All right. And then, do all the staff use the English language when communicate with the local customer?
Yes. So it's again depending on how comfortable the guests feel. So usually we will always welcome our guests in English, unless there is some sort of indication that they would prefer another language. And if that team member can speak the other language, then of course.
Okay, and then how would the staff communicate with the customer who did not know how to communicate in English?
So there's been cases where I've been talking to a guest that doesn't understand what I'm saying. So the easiest way is, other than getting another colleague, is to use Google Translate. That's the fastest and easiest way. And I feel like the guests appreciate the assistance. Because they know you're trying, they can tell by your body language.
Cool, thanks. So we'll move on to the next person to ask the next set of questions. Lou, you're muted. Lou, you're muted. Please unmute. Okay.
Okay. Can I know what the service that your hotel provides?
Okay, so we have quite a few, but if I was to pinpoint one, is again, as I mentioned, we do not do concierge services, but for us, our staff try our best to give that extra service in terms of making the stay memorable. They want to come back. So although we're limited, we do actually work with another provider to assist with booking tours, which we make arrangements with. That way the guest also feels like, okay, if I get picked up at the hotel by this company, hotel staff has booked it and I get my transfer back, they feel like they're going to have a good experience. So that's one of the things.
Okay. And what are the facilities that your hotel provides?
Facility-wise, we have a swimming pool, level 8, which is overlooked by the restaurant. Other facilities is self-laundry. So again, as I mentioned before, we're not a full service or luxury hotel. We still offer dry cleaning at a certain price point, but for those that are coming maybe in for one day, like backpackers or tourists, they can do their own laundry upstairs for a much better price.
Okay, and can you further expand the hospitality cycle that involves each test according to the visits done in detail? For example, arrival, familiarization, engagement, and departure.
Or how we would do that?
Yes.
Yes, like the
Okay,
customer
so
journey as a whole.
so when they arrive at the hotel, of course there will be some guests expecting full service. You know, waiting for you at the driveway to assist with the luggage. So I always tell my staff that if there is people around to assist, we always assist. But we make it very clear that this is something that we do in addition, okay, to set the standard, because we obviously work for an international hotel. So if let's say that guest is lucky enough to come at a time where we can still accommodate, we will then bring them into the lobby for their check-in. We've done many role plays on how to welcome a guest, and it'll always be, you know, welcome to the Hilton Garden Inn. And the personalized service comes from our team members getting to know who they're talking to. So although we have a checklist of what we need to get from the guest, like signature, passport, address, all these contact details, in between those times, we still ask, you know, what's the purpose of their stay? You know, is there anything that we can help you with? So we try to make it feel as if, like, you know, if it was our family member, how would they like to be treated? From there, we would bid farewell after giving them the key, and we'll let them know that this is, let's say it's me, I say it's Ricky. If you need anything, just give me a call. And when they go to the room, they feel a little bit more at ease. We explain the hotel facilities, and then from there, they can enjoy the rest of their stay.
Okay, and can I know what are the main attractions of hotel?
Main attraction, as I mentioned before, so we focus more about what the guest needs, not wants. But there is a lot of happy guests that are sitting by the pool, laying by the pool in the hot sun, because it's right across the breakfast area. So it's quite a nice view. Other than that, it's actually the location. So the reason why people book with us is that if you have a look at the MRT line, it's quite central to everything. When you want to go towards Bugis, you can actually walk or take the MRT. Or if you want to go down to Marina area or Gardens by the Bay, it's quite easy.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
You know, Miss Ricky, your answer reminds me of our time in Hilton, Singapore.
Yeah, it's the same answer.
It's already, you know, 3 years plus, right? Can't wait to be back. Right. So next would be from ISMA. Right. ISMA, here you go.
Okay. Hello, Madam Ricky. Okay, I just continue the question. Can you hear me?
It's a little bit muffly, but I'll try my best to.
Yeah, don't worry. I will.
If not, Pati can. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, all right. Are there any local area attraction near the hotel, nearby the hotel?
Okay, what I got from that is there any local attractions near the hotel?
Yep, you're right.
Local area attractions. We have the famous, cannot pronounce the full name, but there's a temple right next to our Serangoon wing that is quite popular. And we also have, I'm sure you know, Pati's Mustafa Center. Yeah, 24 hours. Yeah, so most people like to go there too because it's novelty. It's affordable. It's open 24 hours. It's walking distance from the hotel. And further to that, those that like Indian cuisine, there is hundreds. I mean, I'm talking about over 200 restaurants in the nearby region. From northern cuisine to southern to Nepalese. Yeah, there's quite a variety of food.
Okay, then what makes your services and facilities different from other hotels?
Our facilities? Okay, in terms of facilities, hotels generally have similar things, such as a pool, a gym, you know, a comfortable bed. What makes the difference is truly the people, the service. And what I mentioned before is that regardless of what service level you are, you still want to try to make it personalized. So the reason why some of our guests keep coming back is, yes, they may not get porterage or concierge services, but they get a bright-hearted service.
I see. Okay, how many staff are working in the hotel?
Right now, we have just under 50 staff in our hotel, and we have 328 rooms.
Okay, did the hotel receive any complaint about the services and facilities, and how to solve it?
Okay, that bit I didn't hear, sorry.
I mean, did the hotel receive any complaints about the services or facilities, and how do you guys handle it, basically? Like, if at all you receive any complaints.
So at the start we did, because we were the first garden in Singapore, so a lot of people didn't really understand what the brand was. They assumed when it says Hilton that you will get the same service as the one at Orchard. So it took a bit of teething, but over the years, it's just come down to knowing your product knowledge and then the staff conveying that message without feeling like we're doing something wrong. So generally upon check-in, again, as I mentioned before, if you're going to help with luggage or anything like that, that is additional service, we kindly inform them that, oh, by the way, you know, Hilton Garden Inn is this, this, and this, but I'm happy to do it for you because I'm available, as an example. So over time, people start to get used to, oh, these people are really friendly, they're willing to do their best, but they know that it's not a standard, okay?
Right, okay. Okay, cool. So the next person, you can ask your questions, Arina.
Hi, first of all, I would like to say thank you for having us. So my question is, how does the hotel maintain the service quality?
Okay, so Hilton is part of, or Garden Inn is part of the Hilton brand. So there will always be service standards. That comes with a lot of e-learning, which is our Hilton University online. There are courses that we have quite regularly. We also do role play within our department. And also we actually have meetings quite a lot about our feedback that we have with our guests. So we use Medallia, which is SAAUD, an online platform that guests can relay their satisfaction or dissatisfaction. And from there, we kind of delve in to see how we can always improve.
Okay, my second question is, have you faced any challenging guests, and how do you handle the situation?
I mean, every day is different. When we had our, this is pre-COVID days, you handle it day by day. So depending on the situation, you always listen to the guests first. You need to be able to understand, if you were them, how would you feel? And then you would extend your apologies. Then you would try to resolve the issue. It may not be the hotel's fault. It could just be expectation, or they're just not having a good day. But again, it's a service that we provide. It's for us to be, you know, making a guest feel comfortable. It doesn't matter what the reason is. After that, we thank them, whether it's for their feedback or thank them for the opportunity to make their stay better.
Right, I have an extension question from your answer.
Yeah.
Were there any incidents where you had to ask the guests to leave your premise, or any of these kind of situations? Have there been any?
Guests that are already staying, not in my career, not yet, thankfully. I think most people, if you're honest with them and you can give them a chance as well to explain whatever it is, again, it could be just frustration or a legitimate complaint, then you take it from there. But in terms of severity, it's probably, I've called the police before, but again, it's still manageable.
Okay, cool. Back to Arina. Right.
Okay. So we are currently in pandemic COVID-19, right? So did Hilton Garden Inn get affected by the pandemic as well?
So everyone was affected in some way or another. But in terms of hotel, we still did very well, especially because of our figures from last year. So there was no retrenchment for this property, which is a good thing to say, considering a lot of other colleagues who did not face the same So in terms of team members, though, there are some that were stuck in Malaysia for financial reasons. I'll go for them to come back.
Okay. So my last question is, has the room rate decreased post MCO? Yes, why? No, why?
Okay, this is a difficult question to answer because we're actually not open yet. So when COVID hit, we actually, okay, at the start, yes, it decreased for two reasons. One is we need the profit to come in, the money to come into the hotel. Second of all, we understand what our guests are facing. You start increasing your prices than your regular, then you'll lose loyalty for a long time. Whereas if you can understand and empathize with our guests, that perhaps you can give a discount of some sort, you will retain customer service and customer retention. But we actually changed to stay home notice contract to quarantine to now stay home notice. So we haven't had, I would say, regular guests for a while, and our contract is until March.
Okay, right. So I think, yeah. Ms. Ricky, so just to make it clear, so basically Hilton Garden Inn is under contract until March to
Government.
Government, right? So after March, you're open to public.
Correct.
I see. So until March, you will be just taking in stay-home notice guests.
For now, yeah. Unless things get better and they decide to pull the contract. But for now, it's until March, yeah.
So, okay, with this stay-home notice guests, right, how are things being done? Like their moment, I mean, how are things being done in this time? Like they come in, they stay for 10 days or 14 days.
Notice is actually, yeah, so it's either 7 or 10, 7, but it is mostly arranged by the government.
Okay.
They have a briefing deck that they'll send to the hotel. And then we need to brief the team on the procedures because now we can't make decisions as per normal. So we have contacts that we can call, whether it's ICA, MOM, MOE, so the list goes on, right, for government sectors. And then what we do is do daily calls, actually it's meals, because they get 3 meals daily, so it assists with the requests for the meals. After that, it's really just liaising with swab tests, and then once their swab test comes back and they're good to go, is then helping them to check out.
I see. Okay. All right. Cool. So that's usually it depends on the different people. The duration of the stay is different, right? Some will be for 7 days, some will be for 14 days, right? Or is it same?
Yeah. So I think it's different for everyone. So we had one lady. I think she came from Vietnam. Then she served 7 because of the government guidelines. Whereas if you come from like the US or somewhere else, it's 14 days.
I see. Okay, okay. All right. So yeah, I think that's all pretty much. That's all from our questions from our side. So thank you so much, boss. I owe you a lot. Okay, thank you so much for deciding to help us. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Okay.
No worries. Good luck on your assignment.
Yeah, thank you very much, Miss Ricky. Bye. See you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nice day.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Have a nice day.
Stay here.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Yeah, you may leave the English speaking. Bye.